eNCA believes it's under attack from taxi operators and wants the president to intervene urgently. A driver was shot and killed recently outside the company's Cape Town depot. Two other drivers have been injured in attacks on Thursday and Friday last week, night in Gauteng. eNCA says that the minibus taxi industry wants to scare off the companies using violence. We've got eNCA's Monique Mortlock, who is following developments around the story and joins us for the very latest. I mean, it was a disturbing story that was painted by your guest earlier this morning, Monique, about the conditions that these drivers are facing, given the fact that their lives are in danger from these killings that have been happening.
Yes, and here where I'm standing at the Stop Street, it's just outside of the eNCA depot. It is here where Bangikaya Matana lost his life. He had just left the depot in a bus when he was shot at and he was killed. And when I spoke to a little earlier, I spoke to two drivers here at eNCA. They were so frightened, Rolf, and they obviously want to remain anonymous. They were so scared of even just speaking to us because they say the situation that they've experienced over the last 13 months of rocks being thrown at buses, of shots being fired at eNCA buses when they are travelling across the country, especially coming from Eastern Cape into the Western Cape. They said that they are frightened for their lives. And when I spoke to the family of Bangikaya Makana, his father said he had high hopes for him. He was the eldest son, he was the breadwinner of the family, and now the family is without a breadwinner, and he leaves behind two very young children and his wife. But I want to speak now to an employee of eNCA who wants to remain anonymous, and we're going to respect his wishes out of fear of his safety. He was actually in the bus at the time of the shooting last week when Mr. Makana lost his life. Let me ask you, what do you remember about that incident? What happened?
When we left the depot, there was nothing out of the ordinary. But what I can say is that the driver saved my life, because I was supposed to be the one driving that bus and I asked him to do it. So he saved my life that evening when we left. When we approached the stop sign, we only saw the one guy in front of us with a red jacket. And when we got close, he put out the firearm and started shooting in the direction of the driver.
And before that incident happened, knowing about other attacks that have been happening across the country on eNCA buses, were you at all worried for your safety? Did you have any concerns that something like this might even be possible?
At this stage, yes, I do work with the drivers, so I am in control of them. So I know about some of them were very scared to go on the road. But some of them, I used to speak to them a lot, and it's me who gave them hope to get up and come to work, because when they call me, they know I'm going to help them with every situation they have there on the road.
And I know it's only been a week since that shooting happened, that traumatic incident that you were involved in, and it might be a silly question, but how are you doing now? How are you feeling?
At this stage, I am thinking a lot about of what happened, and at this stage, I'm not traumatized or not able to physically to continue, but I am thinking of him and what he did for me.
Thank you very much. That is Mr. I'll just call him Mr. E for now, just sharing his thoughts there, and how beautiful to hear that Bangikaya Matana saved this gentleman's life, his colleague's life, and quite a beautiful legacy for his family, for the Matanas to hold on to, although it's little comfort when you think of the fact that they've lost their breadwinner, their sole breadwinner, that they've lost an eldest son who the father was hoping would take care of him in his old age.
No, absolutely. It is kind of a bittersweet engagement there, Monique, given the fact that we're talking about a wonderful legacy of the man who worked there at eNCA, but also the fact that he was brutally murdered just outside his workspace a few short days ago. We'll catch up with you a little bit later. That's Monique Mortlock in Cape Town at the eNCA offices there, bringing us the very latest on those killings, or that one killing that has happened, and of course the fears that other employees have there. On to this one now. Hopes of